Okay, welcome back to our conversation with Siti Kasim. This is part two, and I'm going to ask her a bit more about politics in this country. Siti, uh, nothing moves in this country, nothing happens that is not affected or touched by politics. Everything is almost everything.
Right.
So, like it or not, we have to talk about it.
Yes.
Okay, now what we have today, according to Ambiga,
Mm.
Ambiga was a great defender of Pakatan Harapan and human rights, Anwar Ibrahim, and the whole works for as long as I can remember. But 2 days ago, she said, this is the most dictatorial government that has ever that she has seen in this country. What do you think of that assessment?
Well, I would not say Ambiga is actually defender of Pakatan Harapan. I would say Ambiga is actually a defender of rights.
Right.
So why people seem to think that she is a defender of Pakatan Harapan, because that was the hope of the people before. People, they with their manifestos, with their promises and all that, it looks like they are. It looks like they are going to uphold our rights. And things like that: freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the things that we have in our constitution. So I think that is what I feel why Ambiga is frustrated. So Ambiga will be honest to herself. She is not a person to be bought. I'm not defending her because of anything, but this is how I see it, because I know what Ambiga stands for personally. And so she is getting very, very frustrated. I think she has held herself for a while, and saying things against Pakatan Harapan, because we really want this government to work. But unfortunately, our spaces are getting smaller and smaller. In fact, I would say under this government, I'm sorry to say that, our rights are getting smaller and smaller. So that's why I think Ambiga spoke out and, like asking for licensing by the platforms of social media and all, is trying to clamp us down. And, we all know also as well that the Prime Minister used Fahmi to shut down any criticism against him. People, I'm sorry, I'm not in the Chegubat group or anything. I dislike their politics, but he has the right to express what he thinks he is.
Yeah.
The things are going on. So by arresting him and like Papa Gomo, not my favorite people, but I will protect their rights to actually.
Because you see, I agree with you, because I think when you give people freedom, but the reason why we need freedom is so that we can have the bad and the good and the ugly and everything out in the open.
Correct.
And only then we can see from different perspectives, different views, different prejudices, different bias, and only then we can come up to what is suitable and true, or what is appropriate for the country.
Correct.
If there is no discussion, you only have whatever has been decided by the people in Putrajaya.
Yep.
And that's dictatorship. So I tend to agree with Ambiga as well.
Yes.
It is almost like you cannot criticize the government or the Prime Minister nowadays because the police will come calling.
Yes.
Well, how then? Okay, let me ask you this. The people who are always talk about rights and rule of law, the people in the government, particularly Amanah. Amanah left PAS, kononnya, because they wanted more intellectualism in the politics, more freedom, more moderate. And then you have DAP, which has that trademark of a party governed by law, governed by democracy. Where are they?
Why do you think I stood as independent? Why do you think?
Okay, you tell me.
Yeah, I actually did not want to join any of the parties because I do not believe in the parties system in Malaysia. All of them will be obligated to the leadership.
Yeah.
They are not allowed to say things openly on what they feel and stand for. They may disagree, but then they are not allowed to say things loudly, outwardly. So there is a system in the political scene in Malaysia that you must follow. Toe the line. And that is the problem. We do not have a higher thinking society yet. So that's why I do believe that we cannot rely on the current politicians that we have. Any political parties, they will be the same. And it's proven. I've said this before. And, God is great. God is showing the truth now. No matter how whatever rubbish done by the government, DAP kept quiet. Amanah kept quiet.
Yeah.
There is nothing from them. What they're trying is trying to impress that, PMX is trying his best, under the certain circumstances. There will still be people who are trying to defend him. You are the leader. That's why you have the power to do things, and this is where people are forgetting. What you do as a leader may not be liked by a lot of people, but if you feel that is the best for the country, you will do it. You will do it. Instead of thinking for the next election, whether I'm going to be elected or not, so I have to please in his mind or in the current government mind that they have to make sure that, we have to please a certain section of the society in order to get our vote in the next election. They're already thinking about that, instead of what have they done to make this country better now, They keep saying about all this money coming in, investment and all that. Well, I'm sorry, I haven't seen it. What we see is that we keep seeing the price keep rising. People are having difficulties in buying things. We don't see, except orang kayangan, they are getting better in their lives, This is what I see. That's why I don't trust or I don't believe in the political system, unless that political party, have the same vision in the sense that, upholding the rights of the people and to be equal, respecting equality and justice for all. This is
Okay. The problem is this: we have serious differences amongst the big groups in the country.
Yes.
Muslim, non-Muslim, Malay, non-Malay, the rich, the poor. There are so many division.
Yes.
Yeah. And in that situation, it's almost impossible to get consensus.
Yes.
It's almost impossible. And maybe that's why these politicians take the easy way. The easy way is like you just described. Okay, as long as we win the election, we collect here, we collect there, we agree here, we give this. So that is why there is no effort to build consensus, to build what is for good, as you say, what is good for the country. It's too difficult a task. And I think that is why I sometimes think that maybe democracy is not suitable here.
You see,
because democracy requires some, as you said, some understanding of what are the issues, there must be recognition that what is good for me is good for you, what is bad for me is bad for you. There is no recognition in this country yet. People have different value system. So I sometimes think that maybe democracy is not suitable. But I don't have a solution to that.
Well, democracy is not perfect, but it is still the best system in the world. Even China, you may think that it's not democracy full, but still there are parts of democracy. They are still very socialist, But you see why we are at this stage. I don't want to talk about other countries, but I like to concentrate in Malaysia. Yeah. Why are we at this stage? Why are there divisions? Why are there this distrust towards other community and all that? It's because of our politicians. You were in UMNO before, right? You see, this mentality.
I'm still in UMNO.
Oh, you're still in UMNO. Yeah, fine.
I was sacked and then I was taken back.
You see, when I was small, a lot of the Malays are pro UMNO. Even my father. My father was every election he will vote for UMNO. Yeah. But after he saw the UMNO candidate in my area, suddenly after being elected, marry another wife, have a Mercedes, he totally got disillusioned, and he totally hate UMNO after that. So that's my father. But anyway, my late father. I'm saying, why are we like this now? It's because of the years of indoctrination, brainwashing in our schools, in our higher institution, in our media. This is the result of it. I'm sorry to say that a lot of the Malays have been brainwashed to be given this idea that there is a threat towards them as a Malay by the Chinese, especially the Chinese. Yeah.
But don't you think the Chinese also been brainwashed?
Brainwashed in what?
Well,
to make money, to become
brainwashed in the sense that
Yeah, I would as well. I put my shoes in the Chinese family. Okay, I'm not getting help. I'm not getting any assistance from the government. Despite my child is getting 10 or 15 A's, he or she may not get a place. Excuse me, I would try to survive on my own, I would instill this mindset into my family that we have to survive, we have to work hard, and so this is why they all get together and help each other. Would you be doing that if you are not in their position? I would as well. So I don't blame the Chinese or the Indians for supporting their own community because they don't get help from our government. This is the key here. If they have had the same treatment, by our government, not just this government, the previous governments, I don't think this mindset of,
only for themselves,
yes,
will not happen.
Yeah. Correct. I really don't blame them, to be honest. Kudos to them for surviving despite not getting any help. Despite all these quota being given by the government to the Bumiputra or the Malays, they are still the best. They are still the very rich, doing very well. Managed to send their kids to overseas, good schools on their own back, or maybe with their community's help. You think the Chinese communities are still concerned about the welfare of the Malay community? Yes, they do. They do? I know many rich Chinese people helping Malays. Okay? I know they will support what is right. This is really not true at all. The businesses built up by the Chinese and the Indians, who are the workers? Mostly their workers are the Malays, So, to say that they don't care about the Malay community, which is not true. But why is this? Why do the Malays somehow think? Why? Very simple. They've been fed with things which are not true. They're being fed by their leaders. Yes, by their leaders does not mean politicians, but their ustad in the surau, in the masjid, keep on, saying pass. Pass will always say, it's better to elect, a Muslim. A bad Muslim than a good non-Muslim. Yes. That's not Islamic at all. What kind of Islam being taught in Malaysia? That is always my question. And nothing's being done to control these people. And so we have this hatred amongst our race. I know personally a lot of Chinese businessmen are very concerned with where we are going, and they don't care about race. They will help, if it's worth the cost. Yeah. And we have now migration, people leaving the country for some years now, but it is now getting more and more. Yep. I think more Malays have left the country, especially to Singapore, than ever before. Yep.
So, which means the situation in the country is not just bad for the non-Malays; it's bad for the Malays also.
Yeah, of course.
Would you agree with me?
Of course. In fact, the Malays are the most oppressed in this country.
Do they know that?
They don't know that, or they always think, because this idea of telling the Malays life after death is more important than life right now, despite no one has come back to tell them there is life after death or not, so it's just because of these ulama telling them, okay, so don't care about what is happening now. Why are there so many people leaving? Despite what people think, my supporters are mostly non-Malays, but there are many Malays like me, but of course not many as the majority, because, we don't know the numbers, to be honest. But why are they leaving? Leaving because they are in fear of where we are going as a country, as a nation. We are seeing more and more implementation of religious,
So-called religious,
yes, in their minds, that they are implementing, more and more control towards the Malays. The Malays should realize this, that, our lives are getting, our freedom is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Look at what is happening right now. Instead of trying to reduce this influence of religion, personally, I don't care what sort of faith you want to believe, whether you're a Wahhabi, Salafi, you're a Sunnah wal Jama'ah, whether you are Ahmadiyya or whether you are Shia, I don't care. But do not use your moral values or your belief onto me, okay? Just because by accident of birth, I am born into a Malay family, so therefore automatically I am a Muslim. And if somebody goes to say that I don't agree with this, I want to come out from Islam, your Islam, they will not allow you. This is becoming more and more difficult. Not difficult. We have a federal court says, you go to Sharia.
You go to Sharia court,
but
which means you can't get out.
No, instead you are sent to a rehabilitation center. So where is that? The Malays don't realize they are trying.
You know why I'm laughing? It reminds me of this song, Hotel California.
Yes.
You can come in any time, but you can't get out.
Exactly. This is Malaysia Islam lah. Malaysia Islam. So this is the problem we have, and people who think, at least with their brain, they will start thinking, I don't think this country can be helped anymore. We are just, heading toward this current government in which we rely so much to reduce this kind of thing. Oh, actually much more worse.
Yeah,
the current PM put a JAKIM officer in every of the department of the government department in the country. So anything you want to do, you must go through the JAKIM, whether it's Islamic or not, to their mind, whether it's Islamic or not. You see, which never been done by even PM, even PAS.
Yeah.
This is the thing, I mean, what I'm saying is, not a criticism of anyone, but I just want you all to see that, the current government itself is, like the so-called harmonization of the Sharia and the civil law. We have to worry about that, huh? They don't even allow a non-Muslim politician or MP to be in the committee.
Yeah.
Why? If you are involving the constitution, Malaysians should be involved. We don't even know. ROU 355. This Hadis bill, a private member's bill being worked on by the current government. When even during PN and Pakatan PAS, they did not work on it. But this current one to show they are more Islamic, this. But I think a lot of the Malays do not know what ROU 355 stands for. If only they know, right? Yeah.
Okay, we have a short break
Yep.
before we come to the last part.
Yep.
I'll take a 2-minute break. Thank you.